Welcome to this week's recap of Division 3. This week you sadly have to listen to me talk to myself because Organized Crisis is on holiday. So I'll excuse myself already because I know that will be horrible for you to listen to, but you will have to deal with it. In the first week we had lots of exciting results and quite a few good games to watch. It's been pointed out to me quite a few games where I should take a closer look, have a closer look at a few of the plays. Sadly, I didn't quite have the time, and that's also one of the reasons this is coming out so late. So expect it to be a little more exciting next week. Now, on the plus side, since Organized Crisis isn't here, you all surely rolled a lot better on the winnings than if you would have if Organized Crisis was here. So let's take a look at the first game. The Scholars of Ogre Hampshire managed to score 3-3 against the Suffragettes, and I'd say that's a win for the Ogres. Scoring 3 touchdowns, that's quite tough as Ogres. Ball possession looks pretty even, and a lot more blocks for the Ogres here. Only 14 for the Amazons. Yeah, SPP wise, it looks like it has been a good game. It looks like Yop scored all the 3 touchdowns for the Scholars of Ogre Hampshire, as it's supposed to be. Yop is clearly the captain of the team. While on the other side, it looks like Kalinda scored 2 touchdowns, and one was on one of the other two girls here, and a pass and 2 injuries. That's reasonable. Sounds reasonable. Now, I'm not gonna go too much into the dice. Looks like there have been a lot of successful for teammate plays. Yop is the master of the air. Nobody can stop him when he's flying through. And, well, yeah. Shall we take a little closer look at those teams? Look at me talking to myself. I'm asking questions only I can answer because Organized Crisis isn't here that time. No, I'm not sure if there's too much changed here. I believe Yop scored a lot of touchdowns. Did he make it? I believe he did. He got a new level and he got sprint, as it looks like. Other than that, we still have the Belfius Coffee, the Great Leap Frenzy Ogre. Do I spot anything else that's new, that's leveled up? I don't quite think so. If I'm wrong, just let me know. Yeah, it's Yop's ogre team. It's looking great. So far, Yop hasn't managed to roll doubles yet, but I'm sure that will come. That will come the next time. On the other side, we had where are they? Finding teams is always tough. There they are, the Suffragettes. And let's look how the girls look. Looks like they are all still alive. Not quite sure. I think Boudicca leveled and got stand firm. That's a great skill on a strength 4 piece who has guard. Other than that, I think Marina might have leveled as well and she got jump up, which is an interesting choice. You don't see that often, but I can definitely see the point of it. You want to have your catcher mobile. But yeah, maybe she will also take a few jump up hits, but we will see more about that the next time. Cleopatra is also pretty close to leveling. Will be interesting to see what skill she gets. Maybe tackle? She's the strip ball player. Maybe even Juggernaut could work, but it would be a doubles, yes. So, yeah, it depends. It depends. Now, you might notice I'm already running a little bit out of things to talk about. This will be fun. Next up, we have the Bitten Heroes taking a 2-1 win over Snot Battery, the other ogre team. Now, Well, it looks like there have been quite a few armor breaks. Let's take a look at the statistics here. Ball possession again quite even. Blocks also fairly even. And a lot of removals on both sides. Looks like that was an entertaining game. SPP wise, Batman, Count America, and Saki Barnes were the main receivers of this SPP on the Bitten Heroes side of things. And on the other side, we have the Snot Battery. Well, Larry the Launcher got the MVP for SPP on Henry Schurler. Let's see if I can remember that to have a look at how the teams are looking. Looks like Bloodlust was pretty average. Quite a lot of rolls there. And yeah, anything over here? Yeah, again, 3 successful 4 teammate plays. It looks like it was the week to throw Snotlings around. Now let's take a closer look at the team. I'm pretty sure the Bitten Heroes already played this week, so the team might look a fair bit different from what you've seen earlier. Batman was like he was, I believe. Canterbury, the Vamps still look all great. Those are great vampires. And other than that, I don't think too much actually changed here. This could be me being wrong about it, but the Vamps, I mean, they still look great. They have the Vamps they needed. And yeah. Shall we move over to the other ogre team? Let's see if I can find them. Here they are. Ogres are still looking good. Did anything change over here? Any key level ups? Pretty sure one of those ogres got break tackle out of the deal. And well, we still have the armor value 4, 30 player Nobbler. All the other Nobblers aren't quite as experienced. The best one sits at 3 SPP, or the 2 best ones. But that can happen to Nobblers. They die quickly, and well, in the end, they are only Nobblers. And the Ogres are the clear stars of the team. Because this team doesn't have a job to rely on. Maybe one day they will have, but for now, they will have to suffer through it. Now, who's next on the board? We have the Nurgle Murgle Urgle versus Brutal Geometry. It's the Nurgle Gurgle match. And it looks like Varavam brought it home. Even armor breaks. Let's see what the ball possession says. The ball was a lot on the ground, as you'd expect from a Nurgle mirror. A fair bit more blocks on the Nurgle side, and also quite a lot more removals. 8 KOs versus only 3. If those were early on, that's pretty much game deciding. Numbers advantage is really helpful in this matchup. No, it's always helpful, but though those numbers are rough. Now, SPP wise, nothing much happened. The Infirmed was Rotter who died. And they always get the MVP. And, well, not too much happened otherwise. Anything jumping out to me here on the dice rolls? I don't think 9 going for it successful. And all the really stupid rolls successful over here. That's really helpful if the Beast of Nurgle wants to do stuff, instead of not doing stuff. Now, let's take a look at the 2 teams. Here's Nurgle Murgle Gurgle. They also played another game. Do we find anything new over here? Haas is still sitting on no skills. The crippled were 2 heads already. More rotters with 5 SPP. No, I don't think they're changed anything. Maybe Catriona. Could very well be true that Catriona got two hands out of the deal. Which is useful on a ball carrier. It makes picking up the ball a lot easier. Yeah, that's a scary looking Nurgle team. I like the green jersey. I like green jerseys. They look good. And well, yeah, not too much to say about it. Let's look how Brutal Geometry looks after the match. Do I spot anything new? I don't think so. I think the Beast of Nurgle had grab already, so that might be new. But really there isn't too much to choose from on a big guy on his third normal roll, so quite expected. And yeah, his Box of Pain new. No, nothing died. So yeah, he's been around for a while. 9 matches, not a single SPP point. That's not a good Nurgle warrior. You should fire him and rehire a new one. Yeah. It's quite hard to make conversation with yourself about teams if nothing much changed. So we'll move on to the Nordic Nooblets versus the Stuku Dwarfs. And the Nordic Nooblets took home a 1-0 win. Let's take a closer look. Looks like Berserker here got the MVP to level. So did Flower Power on the other side, but he's still quite a little bit away from leveling. Ball possession 25% to 25%. Again, the ball was on the ground a lot. 10 more blocks for the Nordic Nooblets. Pretty even removals. Although the Nordic Nooblets had more luck in actually getting injuries over KOs, which helps a lot for the SPP mostly. And yeah, let's take a look at the MVP. Ragnar Lodbrok was clearly the star of the game. He got the most SPP, but also Bjorn Ironside and Weber got some SPP. And on the other side it was mostly Flower Power and Nightmare got some. Let's take a look here. How are the dice looking? Looks like the Yeti didn't do that much, but it was probably enough. On the other side, it is two good chores. Oh, looks like they had a really rough time picking up the ball. And that can be really hurtful for chores, since they are a slow team. And if you fail to pick up the ball a few times in a row, then it's not going to end well, unless you just pitch clear the opponent, which clearly didn't happen. So, let's take a look at those two teams. Here are the Nordic Nooblets, coached by Bainsy, with their star Bjorn Ironside. It looks like Ragnar Lothbrok is on his way to try to challenge Bjorn Ironside's rule. He has now Strip Ball, which is interesting on a killer piece, but yeah, he might be the best sacker he has available. And having Strip Ball or not having Strip Ball can be quite useful if the opponent's team doesn't have sure hands. Gerber might have gotten a guard while I didn't watch. And a lot more tackle, which is pretty straightforward if it's the first lineman for a loner. It's the first level for a lineman. That's how you say it. Tibble's got 2 SPP, I believe, so maybe he's looking to get his first level up soon. But other than that, the team still very much revolves around Bjorn Ironside and, well, maybe Ragnar Lothbrok. Maybe they will become a duo of doom. Vikings can certainly do some damage. Now, on the other side, we had this Dukuchovs, coached by Ricky Titan. Flower Power was the main receiver of the SPP. I think 2 SPP went to Nightmare, so nothing much changed. Oh, is that an armor bust? No, I think the armor bust was already there. It's just an MNG. So, and another blocker here. Did he get agility busted? Ooh, that's quite rough. Missing 2 blockers for the next game. That's hard to play around. And he's still keeping those 2, well, the Nickel Hobgoblin Rasputin 3 around. It might be time to replace him, but maybe he's just looking to get a dirty player quickly. That might as well be true. Well, I believe his next opponent will be very happy about those 2 MNGs, because that will make his life a lot easier. Huh? I believe that's it for this team. So, who's up next? The Mustang BBC, another Norse team, lost against buff men with short legs, the dwarf team. Oh, it's actually a Bretonnian team. Yeah, all those mistakes dropping in because I keep on talking to myself. It looks like it was a pretty one-sided game. 17 armor breaks to 4 armor breaks speaks quite decisive language. Ball possession was in favor of the dwarves, mostly in the opponent's half. A lot more blocks for the dwarves, a lot more removals, 2 kills. Sounds like a rough game for the Brets. And it was mostly Mr. Mohawk going off, killing everything around. And so did a few other players. Mr. Runford on his way to become a little closer to his predecessor, the old Mr. Runford. Dice rolls. Well, nothing too much out of the ordinary. Injury dice were a little bit, yeah, but and not many dice rolls at all on the dwarf side. It speaks a pretty clear language of it being a fairly one-sided match. So let's take a look at those 2 teams. Let's start off with the Breds, who suffered 2 deaths. Now the team still isn't ordered, but you know, you can't have everything. It looks like it was a blitzer that died because we have a new one right over here. And the second death was probably a lineman, maybe a blocker. No, it was a lineman, so a peasant. And who cares about peasants? Do I spot differences? I believe that Blitzer got the MVP to level, which allowed him to get sidestep. That's quite a useful skill on a Blitzer. Other than that, keeping up the guard blockers, I think nothing new over here. Yeah, I don't think there's much new. And well, it looks like the Brad's got quite a beating. The lineman here is probably just an MNG, yes. So yeah, let's see if they can bounce back from a game like that, because facing dwarves can be quite rough. And talking about dwarves, here are Hasla's dwarves. Looking scary as always with all those long beards. Mr. Mohawk got a fair bit closer to legend. 9 SPP is nothing to look down on. And did Mr. Tackle level? Maybe, but I thought he had 2 stand firms already, so I don't think much changed here. Mr. Runford is really close to his level up. The touchdown would be more than enough to level him. And if it's another roam normal, Hasler might consider getting a new runner, or at least getting a second runner and try to see if he can get him up to speed. Because 3 normals on a runner, you really run out of the good things you can give them. I mean, of course, you could give them leader and try to be a bit more team value efficient, but Really you'd like at least double for dodge or an extra agility point. Even a strength would be really good on a ball carrier. Movement also would be great. Anything but a normal would really be useful on a runner. So might be worth trying to build up a second one. Did miss the Moustache level, my favorite dwarf of them. Could very well be true. I like giving those guard. Having blitzers as your more mobile guard pieces is great. And it's not, well, it's not like he's missing guard, but guard is great for dwarves. Yeah, and I believe that means we move on to the next game, where the Ascurets took a quite convincing win over the Cold One Cannibals. Armor breaks were in the favor of the Skaven. That's not good for lizards. But Agron got the MVP, and that's a nice level up. The lineman on that Ascaret is probably not as good. It's a 30 player. You really don't want them to reach the next level because it's really, you don't want your main fouling piece to cost more. Take a look at the statistics. Ball possession was in favor of the Reds. Blocks were quite even. Removals were even, but again, more injuries for the Reds, or in the Reds' favor. So that really helps. And yeah, let's take a look at this PP. Now, if Misu had a reasonably named team, I could tell you more about who got SPP there. But it's all the SPPs for all the Ascurets. On the other side, the Coban Cannibals, Argon got the MVP, Pietro scored, Spartacus got an injury. Let's see if I can remember that when we take a closer look at the teams. The Ascurets are over here, and looks like we still have a level pending. That might have been the MVP here. We are still undecided on that. The one-turner, the natural one-turner is still healthy. I don't like that. Other than that, probably most of the SPP went to the Storm Vermins. I believe we had piling on there already, but that might have been new. Now, on the level for the lineman here, you could probably, you have kick already. So I'd either go for Wrestle or I'd maybe just fire him. He has quite a big bench already, 3 players. And he has more than enough cash to potentially replace the lineman. Might also consider just replacing the movement buster line red, but it's his choice. And yeah, 3-1 is quite a result to start with in the new season. Looks like he's keeping up his dominant performance. Or, well, keep up. He's starting off with a strong performance. Then we had, who was the other team? The other team were the Colon Cannibals. There they are, the lizards. And Argon got piling on. It's an interesting decision. To be honest, I personally am not the biggest fan of piling on Sauruses. You really like them standing. But if you really want damage, it's your decision. I'd say break tackle or tackle would really be more useful on the piece. But, yeah, no. What do we have here on the movement? Oh, the movement. Saurus roll the movement bust. I love it when the stat-up players get an injury in that stat. Now, that's quite an expensive Saurus, but you're probably not in a position to rebuy him, since it looks like we spent all of our money on something. Maybe you bought a fresh skink? Yes, he did. That's interesting. Interesting indeed. I'm still not sure about Cursor here. Sneaky Kid. Level 3, level 4 skink. That's quite a bit of bloat, but I think I went over that in the first week already. So let's. No. Look at what I did. I dropped out of the right division, but we are right back. And the last match of the week went in favor of Kumostern against Race. He won 2-1 and took home the win against Scary. Well, a very strong looking, strong in literally speaking, Chaos team. 9 armor breaks to 9 armor breaks. It's not good for the Skaven, and looks like the ball was mostly in the hand of the Chaos. Blocks, more blocks for the Chaos. Removals were pretty even, which is not good for the Chaos. And yeah, let's take a look at the SPP here. Quite a few SPP. Looks like the Grace threw a fair bit of passes around, which I'm not sure if that's the best idea, but yeah. And on the red side, a fair spread of SPP. Hurry 2, Milo are the main recipients. So, dice rolls, anything special over here? Nothing much on the red side of things. Looks like the Chaos were quite good at passing. So there's that. Picking up also went pretty well. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at their teams. Let's start with the Mafia Rats, Kumostern's team. How are we looking here? One turner, of course, still in place. Harry got closer to his next level. Other than that, I'm not sure if anything changed. Maybe we got a dirty player here. But it's a scary looking Skaven team. And as predicted, it turned out both these Skaven teams did quite well in their first week. So let's take a look at Drace's team here. He got a fair bit of SPP out of the match, but it's still very much a team of a lot of setups and few actually useful skills on the Chaos Warriors. So this team could look a lot better once he gets a little more SPP. This team will one day be very scary. Yet it's still quite bloaty. Believe Tish probably got Mighty Blow. So did Risano get Block? Might be wrong here. I think Argos got Claw. Going to be in the style of Apple Pie. Who needs Block anyway? And yeah, it's a strong team. Strong. That's the name of the game here. So curious to see where Drace takes this team. Now, that's been all the games, all the teams. Let's take a quick look at the leaderboard here. Quite a few teams played twice already, but that's on me. With the first week's win, we had both the Skaven and the Nurgle. My predicted favorites doing well. I like that. I like the sound of that. Looks like I actually know what I'm talking about. Nordic Nooblets also took the first win. Yeah. Ogres on the lower end of the table. Well, it's only been the first week and a little bit of the second week, so not too much to talk about yet, but I think those three at the top will probably stay close to the top. And, well, guys, that's it. half an hour of me talking to myself about your teams. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it will be a little more interesting next week when Organized Crisis will be back. And yeah, until then, good luck with the remaining games of week 2, and go kill those natural one turners. They are disgusting. See ya next week. Goodbye.